50% of business is just showing up. It's all about consistency. It's all about doing those reps. It's all about doing it quickly, every week, every month, for as long as you can. And to me, that is what's gonna create amazing success. Welcome back to another video. My name is Preston. I'm excited to have you here. In this video, we are gonna talk about what I wish I knew in my glorious 20s. I'm a professional recruiter running my own agency. Been doing so for over a decade, here to provide you as much value as I possibly can. Let's get started. Quick thing about me, just in case you were unfamiliar watching for the first time, I actually started my professional recruiting career almost about a decade ago at a nationwide US staffing agency, worked my way up to become one of the top producers out of 300 recruiters nationwide, did over $500,000 on my own desk, no client handouts, no VA, no part-time helping me, surpassed over $100,000 in billable commission placements in a single month. In 2015, I decided to start my own journey, betting against myself, was able to do $500,000 on my own desk the first year, and since then, grateful to say we've done over multiple seven figures worth of placements. Before we continue, just a quick FYI, this is honestly based on my own experience. I hope it helps, provides you value. One day, maybe perhaps we can collaborate or work together. The first thing that I wish I knew in my 20s was find what you are good at. So in your 20s, the biggest advantage that you have is time. You want to try out as many things as possible. Find interest areas, passion areas, try new things, and try to find areas that you think you can excel or things that just click right away for you. If you have a job and you hate it, go get another job. You have time on your hands, and this is the perfect time for you to be able to really take chances, take those risks, because it will be much harder to do as you get older with more obligations later down in life. If you fail or make a mistake, that's totally cool, because that is the best and most natural way you learn how to do something better. If you didn't know how to ride a bicycle, it took a couple tumbles for you to figure out exactly what to do, how to balance, how to pedal your bike, and now you know how to do it. Same thing for either starting a business, ventures, career. If you like it, great. Excel at it, do your best. If you don't, no sweat. You got time the rest of your life ahead of you. Don't take it too seriously, and try to find other areas that you think you might be interested in or passionate about, or ones that you can really leverage your skill set that you built up until that point in your life to be able to just dominate and crush it and find success. The second thing that I wish I knew in my 20s was you really just want to focus on one thing and don't get distracted. This is much harder to do in the era of internet, technology, and social media, where it seems like 10-year-olds are making multi-million dollars. You have 16-year-olds creating an app that sells for 8, 9, 10 figures, like on and on and on and on. It's incredibly distracting, and you get this FOMO all the time when you turn on your phone, like, wow, I'm not doing enough, or people who are my age or younger doing way more than I am, so I need to try what they're doing. I need to kind of add this, I need to add this, I need to add this, and I need to add this. And guess what? I totally get it, because in my early 20s, I did the exact same thing. When I actually started in recruiting about a decade ago, I thought I was like awesome. I was the boss. I was like working for myself as a solo recruiter, running my own business, but I also dabbled in e-commerce, real estate, and a lot of other things. And I thought I was successful. And then when I look back at it, it just doesn't make any sense. I was working ridiculous hours, not making any meaningful success in every single one. It was really only until the time I decided to stop everything, go all in on one thing, where my income, work-life balance, and overall success just 10x'd. It's so easy to have 10 different jobs, 10 different hustles, and it's even more easy to always feel like you're busy, but then really quantify like the results that you're producing every week or every month. Are you actually successful? Is your business actually moving forward? Is it growing? Are you getting new customers? Or do you feel like you're just stretched thin, working 100 hours a week, and you're just not going anywhere? There is no way, in my opinion, that you can find meaningful success if you're spread too thin. Think of the biggest entrepreneur success stories in your life that you aspire to right now. Most likely they weren't doing 10 other things in the beginning. They were all in on one thing, they hit a substantial milestone, and then either they went off in the sunset. At that point, maybe that they retired, or maybe they decided to invest, or maybe they tried a couple other projects. But most successful entrepreneurs or business owners that I know, that you know, that we all know, started with one thing, and they were absolutely laser focused. In my opinion, you want to focus and go in on one thing. In my opinion, what you want to do is really stay focused and go all in on one thing. And most importantly, you don't want to quit too early. It's so easy to start something and then 15, 30 days later saying, oh my God, it's not for me. That's just not enough time to build anything productive. You have to really duke it in 7 days a week, as much as you can, for at least 6 months. I mean, even to me, that's really short. You want to give yourself at least a year. But even then, if you're looking to build a long-term business, you want to give yourself at least a couple years all in on that one thing to be able to master that domain, master your products and services, the trends and insights that are happening in your market, and just be consumed by it. The longer that you go all in and focus, the better. But with that said, there's also great strength that you can have knowing when to stop. But I think in general, people stop way too early. They're jumping on one thing, it doesn't work out, it's too hard, then they jump on another thing, it's too hard, then they jump on another thing, too hard. You're not gonna find success with that kind of mindset and that kind of pattern. The third thing that I wish I knew was patience. Patience is key, and again, it is so difficult to have patience when you have colleagues that are doing really, really well, have family members that are doing really well, you see people who are 10, 20 years younger than you on social who are doing ridiculously well, and you just kind of want to do everything at the same time and go 20 million miles an hour, and you want success right now. You have to learn how to be patient. And for me, I'm not a really patient guy. Like, it's something that I'm still learning to kind of master myself, but I feel like over the years, I'm better to just try to phase out the noises, phase out the distractions, and just try to build one thing. Building careers, a successful career, or even a business, what I've learned through all the hard lessons in my life, takes time. The greatest things take time. You want to focus always on building for the long term. You want to build and do it in the best way that you possibly can, and always take the high road, focusing on relationships and service instead of cutting corners and taking money off the table too prematurely. If you do that, you can still build a business like that, but it's a lot weaker because you're going to create more distrust, not as strong relationships with your stakeholders or customers or clients. It could eventually blow back on you, and that's the last thing you want to happen, especially if you're a small business trying to grow and trying to build. Reputation, credibility is absolutely everything. Don't self-sabotage yourself when you are just starting out. Another big advice that I want to share with you is try your best and not to compare yourself to others. If I'm in recruiting, there's so many other recruiters doing better than me. If you're in sales, there's so many sales people doing better than you, so many better entrepreneurs, designers. It just goes on, and it's honestly not a healthy mindset or attitude to have, because it's a very slippery slope. It could just be really, really mentally, psychologically unhealthy for you. Focus on just you and focus on what you have to do. And guess what? Chances are, if you're showing up and you're being consistent, it's good enough, and you're well ahead of 99% of other people out there as well. Also, FYI, I'm sure you know this, but it's also very easy to forget this. Social media are highlight reels. And for a lot of gurus out there, social media is completely farce and fake reality. So focus on yourself, focus on setting realistic milestones, focus on hitting it, setting new realistic milestones, hitting it again, rinse and repeat, staying consistent over and over time. And then as you look back, you'll start to see fantastic growth, fantastic health in your business. And overall, you're just doing very, very well. The next step I want to share with you is that there is honestly no secret formula for success whatsoever. There are no shortcuts, no magical tools or products that can jump you to become a millionaire or billionaire in one day, in 15 days, in 30 days. So from my experience, people who achieved stratospheric level of success in a ridiculous short amount of time usually has either a significant competitive advantage, like for example, if you're a founder of a real estate tech company and your uncle ends up being a high-level VP of BlackRock or Blackstone, that could really help you, right? Or just ridiculous luck in terms of timing, or just a combination of both. Most of the successful people that I know, that you know, really don't show what they do outside of interviews or videos, for instance. Most of the time, a lot of the work is just like this, sitting at their desk, on the phones, at the computer. It's not miraculous, it's not exciting, it's not sexy. They're just showing up, being consistent, doing what they have to do, embracing the mundane work over and over and over again. 50% of business is just showing up, and when you're working for yourself, you have no CEO, you have no manager, you have no director telling you what to do. You have to tell yourself what to do, and then you have to be able to follow through with it every single time. And it's much difficult following through from directions that you're creating for yourself than when someone's saying, hey, do this, do that, do this. So I think if you were to focus on anything, it's all about showing up, whether you don't want to, whether you feel sick, whether it's a Friday, you want to take half a day. You are out competing against someone else out there who is willing to work harder than you, faster than you, willing to show up. So at the end of the day, you want to focus on just one thing. You need to show up. It's all about consistency. It's all about doing those reps. It's all about doing it quickly and just rinse and repeating every week, every month for as long as you can. And to me, that is what's going to create amazing success. The last tip I want to share with you that I wish I knew in my 20s is leverage your job experience. Be patient. If you have a job, if you have a career, and one day you want to be an entrepreneur or work for yourself, that's great. But guess what? You're probably going to have to learn a ton to increase the probability or chance of you finding success as an entrepreneur. Don't be too hasty to quit your job. There's so many actually valuable things that you can learn at your job. You can learn what is it like working in a chaotic, lean, fast environment like a startup versus an established big company or legacy company like the AOLs or the Yahoos or big tech out there. You can learn all of the really cutting edge systems and tools that the teams and the company has built to make sure that all the people that they're hiring can find success. That's priceless to know, because how many times have Have you started your own business? You're like, I don't even know where to start. What really helped me in catapulting my recruiting career is I started at a job where I learned the ropes about everything. I learned what it's like to create a team, how to pay a team, the systems, tools. And the third point is you also learn how to manage and lead. And this is the one point where I wish that I learned a little bit more about. For me, like you, most likely, I was very entrepreneurial, very ambitious. I knew eventually I was gonna work for myself, and I just left my job too hasty. I was there for a little over a year, and I wish that if I stayed at least like another year or two longer, I'd be really able to understand how to manage and lead people well. That's now something I had to just learn firsthand as I'm scaling my growth and team. But if I went through the rubrics and frameworks and got familiar with how to do that well, it'd be able to fast track my ramp up process that much easier. So the whole point of leveraging a career and job is that if you wish to start a business within a similar domain, market, or industry, it will do you so much good to just take an extra time to really embrace that at a job, to really ask yourself, do I really like this? Is this something I'm really, really good at? And if I were to work for myself, like what are like the trendy must-have tools and systems that I need to be able to get it off the ground? Because if you don't do this and you decide just to jump and work for yourself, you're not gonna have any of this historical context to help you. And a lot of it's just gonna have to figure it out, trying all these tools, spreading yourself out too thin, really increasing your chance of spending way too much in the beginning, or just burning out and just not going anywhere. So accelerate your ramp up and ultimately help shorten the probability of you making a lot of mistakes when you choose to work for yourself. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for the video. If you're in your 20s, it's the best time. Embrace it, slow down, learn, and find something that you're good at. Find something that you love. Even better, find something that you're passionate about. And then if you can, try to excel and do something in an area that combines both. That way you'll be absolutely unstoppable. If you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, click that bell. It really means a lot. We'll see you on the next one.